You ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's the last video.
Mm-hmm.
No turning back.
Nope.
You finished eating your cashews?
Yep.
Here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Well, guys, this is it. This is the last video for this year. And this is the review. I hope that wasn't really real. That was my son. He's trying to make this a funny thing because it's the last
It's
one.
your last video, man.
I know,
School's over.
but this is
I
for
gotta
a final.
I gotta go on the side of the freaking kids here, man. School's over.
No more homework.
No more homework.
But
Sorry.
they still have a final.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
All right, here's the review for your final. You're going to name the 3 most striking characteristics of modern poetry, which is diversity in form, subject, and the perceived purpose. Tell why poetry is relevant and helpful today. 1, because people often feel as if they live in an impossibly complex world which is beyond their control and even their understanding. 2, it provides an outlet for these feelings. And 3, it provides a vehicle to come to terms with them. Okay? Modern poetry has been described as experimental. When we talk about experimental poetry, it refers to the following information: the bold search for new forms of poetic expression. The 2 poets that stand in the forefront of modern poetry are Walt Whitman and Emily Dickinson. The transcendentalist view was introduced into America by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Say that one fast 10 times. In Leaves of Grass, Emerson took the entire universe for his subject. Modern American poetry owes a debt to the symbolism movement. Symbolism is based on assumption that all external objects are symbols of a deeper and truer reality. Many poets have been preoccupied with the nature and possibilities of human relations and the complex emotional and psychological elements that bear on them. Robert Frost was concerned with the following things in his writing: 1, uncertain relationships among men and women; imponderable world in which they live. Now, what does imponderable mean? I gave you the definition before. It's a factor that is difficult or impossible to estimate or to assess. Robert Frost is regarded as a poet of New England. Even though he was born in San Francisco, he was still considered a New England poet. Frost began writing poetry in the 1890s. He was first published in England. In The Road Not Taken, the woods symbolize the world in which we live. The quote in there that says, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made the difference. The 3 things that the speaker talks about here is: 1, that the speaker decided not to follow the crowd. He decided to go against tradition and also against convention. In the poem Fire and Ice, fire suggests desire and ice suggests hate. The darkest evening refers to physical and emotional darkness, in which Frost's poem Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening talks about. In The Death of the Hired Hand, it's usually called a narrative poem. The 3rd character who does not speak in Death of the Hired Hand is Silas. Now, I want you to be able to discuss the last conversation between Warren and Mary about Silas after Warren returns from the market. Mary tells Warren to treat him with kindness because he is even more miserable now and broken down than he ever was before. And Warren says that he is always fair to Silas, but he has to be practical. He needs to let him go. And I'm not going to give you this question, but you are going to have a bonus question on the end. And I will expect you to follow the traditions and the customs of how Frost writes, okay? That is it. That is the review. Now, if you have any questions, any concerns, please let me know. You don't have to worry about sending me the notes, because I know a lot of us have been without power. That's why I didn't do a video prior to tonight, because we had no power. And that's it. I'll be, yeah, I can't even talk right now. I'm going to look forward to seeing you guys on the 15th of November. You can tell this is my last day, right? On the 15th of June. Oh my gosh. So you guys have a great weekend. Try to cool off for those that are just now getting your power back. And don't forget to take your final on Tuesday. And I must have it no later than 4 o'clock. Good night. November 15th.